I want to do 2 of these bikes in the vintage style that we've been moving into.
They once ruled the world of custom motorcycles, turning metal and engines into television gold on the Discovery Channel. But the moment the cameras stopped, the American chopper legends saw their entire world fall apart. Bankruptcy documents exposed millions of dollars in unpaid debt. Court battles erupted within the family. One son vanished from the industry after demanding $250,000 in a lawsuit. Another struggled with addiction and was kicked out by his own father. Paul Teutul Sr. He once commanded the Orange County Choppers Workshop like a ruler in his own metal kingdom. Giant arms folded, sunglasses on, shouting orders as dream motorcycles came to life beneath his voice. Paul Teutul Sr. wasn't only building bikes. He became a television star, a brand by himself, a symbol of old-school toughness. Fans tuned in every week to cheer as engines thundered and tempers erupted. But away from the spotlight, his empire was already collapsing. By February 2018, the downfall was undeniable. Paul Sr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, admitting he owed nearly $1,070,893 to almost 50 different creditors. His assets totaled around $1,801,729, yet reality was harsher. He earned $15,070.93 monthly, and nearly all of it vanished into expenses, $12,612 just to survive each month. Nothing was left over. The once celebrated mansion in Montgomery, New York, proudly shown on TV, went into foreclosure. In 2019, he was forced to sell it for only $1.5 million, even though he hoped for more than double that amount. Tools, equipment, even farm animals, everything was included because every dollar mattered. But the financial storm didn't stop there. In 2017, business partner Thomas Derbyshire filed a lawsuit accusing Paul Sr. of mishandling $3 million meant for a new TV project. Court documents revealed unsettling behavior, delaying filming to go fishing, refusing to cooperate with already hired staff, secretly using project money to pay his son Michael, and making side deals off the books, like trading dog food for his girlfriend's animal rescue and collecting free gear for his own shop. More trouble followed soon after. A federal judge ruled him in contempt of court for not paying $17,000 to JTM Motorsports after they upgraded his 2009 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. He owed the town of Crawford $151,230.98 in back taxes, and he carried $21,300 in credit card debt. Reports also surfaced suggesting he became tied to an investment plan linked to losses of $12 to $15 million for Central American investors connected to the OCC Roadhouse project. By March 2020, the original New York shop, the birthplace of his fame, officially shut down. Paul Sr. moved to Clearwater, Florida, hoping to rebuild through the OCC Roadhouse and Museum. The name remains known. The engines still growl. But the glory days faded. The money vanished. The trust evaporated. Today, at 76, he still films YouTube videos and builds custom bikes, gripping the handlebars like he's trying to hold on to the past, refusing to admit that everything has changed. Teutul. When American Chopper took over television, viewers came for roaring engines, custom machines, and explosive battles between Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. But there was always one person who brought laughter into the chaos: Teutul. He wasn't fabricating bikes or shouting orders. Instead, he answered phones, cracked jokes, and swept around the Orange County Choppers shop. He was the soft heart in a world of metal and rage. But behind every smile, Mikey was fighting a darker battle against alcohol. The habit began quietly, just background noise at first, but soon grew uncontrollable. His addiction strained everything in his life. Eventually, Paul Sr. reached his limit. This wasn't a temporary break. Mikey was removed from Orange County Choppers entirely. The show, the family business, his daily purpose, gone. Fans noticed his sudden disappearance. He wasn't at builds, hardly appeared on camera, and concern spread fast. The truth was painful. Mikey checked himself into rehab. It was either fight for his life or lose everything for good. Even after getting sober, challenges kept stacking up. In 2019, photographer Scott Gunnels sued Mikey, Paul Sr., and OCC for copyright infringement. Photographs Gunnels took of Mikey back in 2013 showed up on the show, social media, and even on merchandise. Shirts priced at $19.95, hoodies at $39.99. His logo was removed without permission. On February 18, 2020, a federal judge ruled in Gunnels' favor, ordering Paul Sr. to pay $258,484.45. Another large legal blow for a family already drowning in disputes. Financial hits weren't new to Mikey either. In 2004, he bought a home from his mother Paula for $550,000. But in 2009, he sold it for only $460,000, losing $90,000 in the process. His net worth slipped from $2 million to around $1 million, a symbol of how his world was shrinking. Yet Mikey refused to disappear. He returned to OCC, not as a star, but as an assistant general manager, handling the Facebook page and day-to-day tasks. He launched Farquo Products LLC, selling handcrafted gourmet pasta sauces. He even opened an art gallery in Montgomery, showcasing his metal art and paintings. It wasn't about cameras anymore. It was about rebuilding his life, one piece at a time. Paul Teutul Jr. Paul Teutul Jr. was once the creative powerhouse of a roaring empire. He designed custom choppers that amazed the world on Discovery Channel. Side by side with his father, he helped turn Orange County Choppers into a globally recognized name. But fame is temporary, and the dream they built together soon transformed into courtroom battles, family betrayal, and financial collapse. The fracture began in 2008, right in the middle of American Chopper's peak success. Cameras captured Paul Sr. exploding in rage at his son. Their conflict wasn't new. They had clashed for years. But this time, it went further than anyone expected. Paul Sr. fired Paul Jr. on live television. In an instant, Jr. lost the workshop, the crew, and his position. But he still owned 20% of Orange County Choppers. And that started a full-scale war behind the scenes. Paul Sr. didn't want his son to have anything left. He activated a buyout clause buried in their agreement, trying to force Jr. out completely. Worse, his side claimed Jr.'s 20% ownership was worth $0. The same son who helped build the empire was told his success meant nothing. Jr. refused to accept that. He fought back in court, and in December 2010 he won. Judges ruled the buyout attempt invalid since the valuation method was never agreed upon. Jr. kept his stake, but the family bond was destroyed, and the company became a battlefield. They attempted a temporary peace in 2009 to keep the show alive, but trust never returned. Jr. eventually walked away for good and started his own company, Paul Jr. Designs, opening a new shop in Ship Bottom, New Jersey. He had no big studio backing, no flashy garage, just his creativity, his reputation, and his determination. Major brands like Microsoft, Cadillac, and Mercedes-Benz commissioned builds from him. His bikes still turned heads everywhere, but financial trouble caught up with him too. By March 2018, he also filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. His assets were listed at $1,801,729, while debt reached $1,070,893.44. He owed $51,230.98 in taxes. His biggest asset, his $1.8 million mansion in Montgomery, couldn't stop the free fall. The fame was still visible, but the fortune had disappeared. Today, Paul Jr. remains active in the motorcycle world, appearing at elite bike competitions, judging high-end shows, and crafting custom builds. His net worth currently sits around $2 million, far less than what he once controlled. He helped turn a small family garage into a global sensation, only to lose the brand, the bike shop, and the trust of the father who once taught him everything. It took just 1 decade to fall from television royalty to bankruptcy filings, yet through every struggle, he never stopped creating. Vinny DiMartino. In August 2007, Vinny DiMartino packed up his tools and walked away from Orange County Choppers. For 5 years, he helped create some of the most famous bikes ever seen on TV. Fans admired his calm attitude and flawless craftsmanship. But when he quit, Paul Sr. looked straight into the camera and coldly said, "Everyone's replaceable. No thank you, no handshake, just dismissal." Vinny didn't fight, he simply left. He teamed up with young OCC builder Cody Connolly and opened V-Force Customs in Rock Tavern, New York. Business started strong. By 2010, Vinny returned to TV alongside Paul Jr., appearing in 55 out of 65 episodes of American Chopper Senior vs. Junior. For 4 seasons, things looked promising again. But then reality shifted. The 2008 financial crisis nearly destroyed the custom chopper market. Riders stopped buying expensive specialty builds. Shops shut down across the country. By late 2013, V-Force Customs couldn't survive the economic burnout. Vinny was forced to sell equipment piece by piece, machines that once built dreams reduced to assets on a list. No dramatic farewell, just quiet doors closing. In the same year, he pivoted to a new path, opening DiMartino Motorsports in Montgomery. No more million-dollar bikes, no TV cameras, just fixing cars and light trucks for everyday customers. Today, Vinny's estimated net worth is about $1 million. It may look small compared to reality show fame, but it is honest, built by his own hands. He proved on the day he walked out in 2007 that he didn't need approval or a spotlight, only a chance to rebuild on his own terms. Rick Petco. For 13 years, Rick Petco woke up in Pennsylvania and drove 90 minutes each way to Orange County Choppers, 3 hours on the road every day, 5 days a week, just to reach the loudest workshop in America. From July 2003 to 2016, Rick powered through the grind like a machine. While OCC's on-air chaos showed shouting matches and broken furniture, Rick quietly focused on craftsmanship, a steady presence, while drama exploded around him. He was paid well for it, earning $13,000 per episode on top of his regular earnings. By the time he stepped away, his net worth reached around $1.75 million. But success came with sacrifice. The long drive drained his energy, and the shop's intensity meant he spent more hours with his steering wheel than with his wife. After marrying in 2012, his priorities shifted. He realized the show gave him fame, but robbed him of peace. In 2016, Rick made a life-changing decision. He left OCC. No more cameras, no more dramatic screaming, no more endless commuting. He moved closer to home, taking a job at Pocono Mountain Harley-Davidson in Stroudsburg, where the commute no longer ruled his life. He later explained, "It was great while it lasted, but that wasn't the core of who I am." Now, Rick works from his own farmhouse studio. He launched RPD & Company, crafting custom knives, wedding rings, and metalwork. He spends time with his wife and kids, travels to motorcycle shows, and builds art that comes from passion, not pressure. No TV, no shouting, just craftsmanship, the way he always wanted. Cody Connolly. Cody Connolly was barely 14 years old when he stepped into the iconic world of Orange County Choppers. It was 2001, and while most teenagers his age were playing video games or dealing with school assignments, Cody was already in the shop, welding metal, and learning directly from the Teutul family, all under the bright spotlight of national television. He wasn't just a background helper either. Fans witnessed him grow right in front of the cameras, slowly emerging as one of the youngest and most skilled motorcycle fabricators the show had ever introduced. In Season 1, he even received a dedicated build called the Cody Project, and it wasn't just for the show. The bike sold during Daytona Beach Bike Week 2003, making Cody feel like a rising star. Paul Teutul Sr. even funded his education at the American Motorcycle Institute to help him develop more advanced skills. Everything looked picture-perfect until it didn't. In October 2007, Cody didn't just leave, he made a move that shook the show's fan base. At only 20 years old, he filed a lawsuit against Paul Sr. and Orange County Choppers. The young fabricator everyone admired was suddenly taking legal action against the mentor who once called him family. Cody claimed OCC continued using his image on merchandise, posters, coloring books, and other products, without paying him anything. But the thing that hurt him most came from a moment on camera. Paul Sr. handed him the keys to a custom-built chopper and declared it was his. Cody later said that was all for show. He never got the bike. That gift existed only for television. He demanded $250,000 in damages. When asked why he waited so long, Cody admitted he simply did not know his rights. He was young and trusted the people around him. His case dragged on until 2011 before being quietly settled outside of court. No big announcement, no apology, just silence. After that, Cody stepped away from the spotlight entirely. The world that once knew him as a prodigy was no longer his home. He started a fresh path with Revel Ranch Excavation, a demolition and land clearing company in Pine Bush, New York. His days now involve dirt work, septic systems, and heavy machinery, not custom gas tanks. He is married, has a daughter, and keeps his life extremely private. The boy who once stood beside legends now lives peacefully, far away from fame. Jason Pohl. Then came Jason Pohl, the creative designer who joined OCC in early 2004. Before television fame, Jason was simply an artist designing digital choppers for a pinball game. Paul Sr. noticed his talent and brought him on as the senior designer. His futuristic ideas turned heads inside the shop, but online viewers felt differently. Many fans labeled him arrogant, and some even accused him of defending himself on forums using fake accounts. One blogger went as far as to call him the most disliked guy on American Chopper. His designs were frequently criticized for looking unrealistic. Paul Sr. repeatedly reminded him that a concept sketch must eventually turn into a functional motorcycle. The harshest blow came during the Senior vs. Junior spin-off, when Paul Sr. publicly mocked one of Jason's builds, calling it a cake decorator. On camera, Jason emotionally admitted how painful it was. He poured himself into every design, and having the owner trash it cut deep. Then came the 2011 build-off, OCC vs. Paul Jr. vs. Jesse James. Jason helped design a massive tank-like bike with flamethrowers. The reaction? The internet laughed at it. Hardcore riders said it looked like a cartoon machine. That humiliation stuck with Jason for years. By February 2018, OCC was falling apart financially. Paul Sr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, dealing with more than $66,000 in credit card debt and 8 lawsuits. Jason's appearances on the show quickly dwindled. In March 2020, he left OCC entirely and later moved to Florida in 2021. Today, he works calmly as a SolidWorks brand ambassador, designing digitally instead of under bright lights. His estimated net worth is around $700,000. No screaming, no flamethrowers, just creativity and peace. Daniel Teutul. He wasn't on the show. He wasn't involved in the dramatic arguments. But Daniel Teutul, Paul Sr.'s second oldest son, faced one of the biggest crises behind the OCC empire. In 2004, he took over the family's original company, OC Ironworks. It appeared to be a huge opportunity, but beneath the surface, a much darker situation was forming. In 2007, bankruptcy trustee Tom Genova accused Daniel and his family of stripping OC Ironworks of assets like machinery, employees, and accounts, moving everything into a new company called Orange County Ironworks LLC without properly paying for it. The original company collapsed. Creditors got nothing. The allegations were serious. It wasn't just sloppy management. It was described as alleged fraud. By December 2008, when the court made its ruling, Daniel was just 32 years old. He was ordered to pay $500,000, while Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. each paid only $50,000. Daniel's penalty was 10 times higher, devastating for someone his age. During that period, the average American earned around $40,000 a year. This wasn't just a fine, it was a financial hit strong enough to destroy a future. Nick Hansford. While chaos unfolded on screen, lawsuits, screaming matches, and broken office furniture, Nick Hansford remained the quiet force inside OCC. He studied at the American Motorcycle Institute alongside Christian Welter, and the two dreamed of turning their training into real success. Nick's early work at Pompano Fats and Daytona Choppers showcased his abilities, but Bike Week 2000 changed everything. There, Paul Sr. spotted Nick's discipline and hired him as a technician and distributor for OCC. In 2002, Nick moved to New York for family reasons and stayed, a decision that shaped his entire career. He worked at OCC for 17 straight years, appearing on American Chopper and Orange County Choppers until 2019. While others were making headlines with drama, Nick stayed away from every bit of it: the bankruptcy, the legal fights, the family feud. He wasn't a TV star, but he became something more valuable, stable. Today, he lives in Virginia, focused on his family and private life. No public scandals, no social media attention. Nick stepped out of the spotlight entirely, by choice. Christian Welter. Christian Welter also followed a steady path with quiet determination. Born on September 9, 1978, he attended the American Motorcycle Institute, sharing a room with Nick Hansford, a partnership that later led them both to OCC. Christian joined the shop in 2002 during Season 1. He wasn't the type to shout or storm off. He got the work done. As shop foreman and head mechanic, Christian handled wiring, assembly, and technical responsibilities on nearly every major build. While Paul Sr. yelled and Paul Jr. slammed doors, Christian ensured the bikes actually functioned. When Paul Sr. filed for bankruptcy in 2018, paying over $12,600 monthly in expenses, Christian's name wasn't connected to any of it. He had always stayed clean. Music was his second passion. He had been a drummer since he was 12, training for roughly 7 years. OCC's general manager Steve Moreau discovered this and formed a band with him. Practicing in the boiler room, they even released a 10-song album, rushed, but still a cool achievement. Christian stayed at OCC until 2016, then quietly moved on. No cameras, no controversy, just a respectable exit. The rise and fall of the American Chopper family wasn't just about bikes. It was about pride, betrayal, and the fight to stay alive when the fame disappears. Some walked away, some rebuilt from nothing, and some are still chasing the past. If you want to uncover more shocking truths behind America's biggest TV legends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story is even wilder than this one.